It's Pete from Cheap Homesteading, and I'm in the garage this morning, and we're going to change the knives on my 12-inch Delta thickness planer. I bought this thickness planer, I don't know, last year, and right away I went out and I bought a set of knives for it. But this has been hanging in my house for a long time. I haven't brought it out, and I haven't been able really to use the thickness planer. So my wife asked me, what are these for? And I go, well, they're for my thickness planer that I out in my garage. So she was kind of encouraging me to install the knives. So we better get doing that. So this is the Delta planer I got. It is a 22-540. It's a 12-inch planer, and it'll do 5.9 inches thick. So I looked everywhere for a good planer, and they want a lot of money for them. This was the cheapest I could find. It was on a swap and sell group on Facebook. I went out and got it, and I knew it needed new blades. The guy told me, he was honest. So today we're going to change them. One thing I really like, it's got removable brushes so they can be changed. It runs awesome though, so I don't see any problem with that. Okay, so we are going to turn this around, and we're going to take this deflector off, and we're going to start changing out the knife. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is lower down the cutter head so I have more room. There is some wild looking screws in that cover for sure. Wow, that is incredible. He really did get his use out of those knives. I'll show you. Oh. Look at that, near the edge, you can see the sharper edge. You see how it's rounded? That is incredibly wore out. Okay, so we're gonna go change these out. So most times when you get a used planer like this, you don't get the knife setting tool. And basically what that is it sits on the drum and it sets the knife to the right height. Okay, so this is set for a 2-inch drum, and this little section is 1.5 millimeters higher than the 2-inch drum. So if you wanted to make something like that, you could. He even has the original wrench with the bend, so it's easy to change the knives. So if you don't have it, you might have to make it. They are getting hard to find online or anything like that. So at least the original. That's an original Delta one. So we're going to take these knives out. So, okay, so you have a whole row of these jam knives. You go and you make sure they're all loose. And then the old knife will come out. By the way, this wrench is an 8mm wrench. Yes, they're metric. I don't know where Delta originally is from. If that's from Europe or it's from the US, I don't know. But they have metric hardware. So I'm gonna pull out the jam plate, and there's 2 little springs down there. I'm going to just lift them out so I don't end up losing them. There. And we're just gonna blow out this whole section. Okay, so make sure you put your safety glasses on. Just blow this out gently. We're gonna install this spring. Install the spring. There's a little hole down in the drum. Those springs push the knife up against your setting jig. So throw your jam plate in. So there you go, the new knives, and they're actually Delta knives. And be careful you don't end up cutting yourself. They have oil in between them, and the suction between the 2 blades is like really, really strong. So I'm gonna wipe off the excess oil that's on here. You want to make sure that there's no wood chips or anything in there when you go to put the new knife in. You want to make sure that it can sit down nice and steady. Put my gloves on now. So we have the cutting edge down, and we're going to slide it into the slot. That's easier said than done, really. Now you push down. So you're going to get your setting gauge, and you're going to set it down on the middle of your roller, and you're going to cause gentle force. And now we are going to tighten up the outside jam screws. Just tighten up the outside ones so it'll actually hold. And then you can remove it. Look at that. So now we are going to go along here and tighten up the rest. Okay, so now you roll it over and repeat the process for the other blade. Okay, so I'm going to try to replace this foam, but for now we're going to throw this in and we're going to tighten it back up and give it a try, see how it works. Okay, so we're going to give this a try. Okay, let's see. We're going to try this rough cut piece of ash. So I was planning on using this making my bee boxes this year. I was kind of trying to make, the quality of my bee boxes a lot better than they have been in the past. Every year you get a little bit better, so this planer is going to help me with that for sure. I'm really happy with the result. It came out really, really smooth. No chatter, no nothing, so that's pretty awesome. It works really, really good. These old planers are just absolutely incredible. I just didn't want to go and buy a new one. Number one, I'm cheap. Number two, you don't know what you're getting even with a new one because they make things so cheap anymore. So I've always had good success with Delta products, especially the older Delta products, and I had no problem with it. So I got this fixed, and it's another thing off the list, and you guys have a good one.